In this question, we're asked to solve the linear equation x over 2 minus 2 is equal to 6. Now, one possible strategy would be to look at this negative 2 and see if we can try to eliminate this. So the opposite or the inverse of subtracting 2 is to add 2. So if we were to add 2 to the left-hand side of the equation, we would also have to do the same to the right-hand side of the equation because we want to maintain balance. So if we try to do that, add 2 to both sides, when we do that, we have a negative 2 and a positive 2, negative 2 plus 2. These two terms become 0. And 6 plus 2, that becomes 8. Nothing's changed to the x over 2 term yet. And so we can see those two parts there have disappeared. So we have x over 2 is equal to 8. So what we could do is we could multiply both sides by 2, because at the moment x is being divided by 2, so the opposite or the inverse of dividing by 2 is to multiply by 2. And if we multiply the left-hand side by 2, we also need to multiply the right-hand by 2. Now, when we multiply the left-hand side by 2, we get 2 times x over 2. This is a bit like saying we have 2x all over 2. And if we do have that situation, 2x divided by 2, well, 2 divided by 2 is just equal to 1. So these numbers would cancel out and we would just get a 1x. Normally, algebraically, we do not write 1x, we just write x by itself. And 2 times 8 will give us 16. So we find that x is equal to 16 is the final solution to this linear equation. In this question, we're asked to solve the linear equation x over 2 minus 2 is equal to 6. At the moment, x is being divided by 2, so one possible strategy would be to multiply by 2. Now, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to multiply the entire left-hand side by 2. And what we do on the left-hand side, we need to do exactly the same on the right-hand side, so we're going to have to multiply the right-hand side by 2 as well. Now, if we are going to multiply the entire left-hand side by 2, the best notation to write this down with would be to use brackets around these two terms and then place a 2 on the outside of the brackets. So there's 2, open bracket, the entire left-hand side, and then close bracket. So what we need to do here is we need to expand out the brackets. So we get 2 times x over 2, that will give us x, or 1x. And then 2 times negative 2, that will give us negative 4. And on the right-hand side, we have 2 times 6, which is equal to 12. Now, for the next part of the solution, we look at this negative 4, and we want to think about the opposite or the inverse of negative 4 or subtracting 4. So that would be to add 4. So if we're going to add 4 to the left-hand side, we also need to add 4 to the right-hand side to maintain balance. So if we do that, negative 4 plus 4 is equal to 0. So we're just left with x by itself on the left-hand side of the equal sign. And 12 plus 4 is equal to 16. And so we find that the solution for this linear equation is x is equal to 16.